You ever notice how a single snowstorm can set off a chain of events that turns your life upside down? I'm not talking about slipping on ice or the usual, oh crap, can I get my car out of the driveway kind of trouble. No, I mean the sort of drama that makes you question why you ever bought a house in the first place. The kind that starts with a snowblower and ends up blowing up half your world, or at least your idea of what it means to have neighbors. The winter that kicked all this off wasn't anything special at first, just another heavy Vermont snowfall. By dawn, there was already 8 inches out. They're still coming down, turning everything white and quiet. I've lived at the end of that dirt road in Boulder Creek for 12 years. Built this house myself, cleared the land. All that good old American dream stuff. When I moved in, there was nothing out here but trees and the odd fox. The only rules I cared about were the ones Mother Nature handed out. Then Pleasant Valley Estates moved in next door 5 years ago now. Suddenly, that dead-end road was a main artery for minivans and commuter cars, and a brand new homeowners association crowned themselves royalty of the cul-de-sac. I was grandfathered in my place, older than their bylaws, so I figured I'd be left alone. Rookie mistake. On the morning that changed everything, I was out early, got to get the driveway clear before I can get to work. I crank up my commercial-grade snowblower, and it roars like a bear with a toothache. I'm not even 20 feet down the driveway before I spot her Linda Carmichael, HOA president, marching across the snow with the grim determination of a drill sergeant on inspection. She's in this purple parka, flapping her phone around like she's about to read me my Miranda rights. "It's 7:03 a.m., Patrick," she yells. "Our rules say no excessive noise before 8 on weekdays." I blink at her, snow blowing in my eyes. "Linda, I'm not part of your HOA. My land's been here longer than you've had a mailbox." But she's not having it. "The noise ordinance applies to everyone. You're disturbing the peace. Lady, the only thing disturbing my peace is you. But I need to clear my drive. I'm a contractor. If I don't show up, the job doesn't happen. The bills don't get paid." Linda just shrugs. Arms crossed, lips pursed like she's sucking on a lemon. "That's not my problem. Wait till 800. Or else." I stand there, engine idling, watching her stomp away, leaving little angry footprints in the fresh snow. I finish the job. What's she going to do, call the snow police? By that afternoon, there's a letter in my mailbox, official looking, with lots of legalese about community standards and daily fines. All signed in Linda's jagged scrawl. I call up Marcus, my lawyer. He reads the letter, then just laughs. "Patrick, they have no authority. Don't lose sleep over it." Still, it bugs me. I start digging through old files, deed surveys, just in case. That's when I find the kicker. Turns out Pleasant Valley Estates' only access road cuts across a chunk of my land. They never bought the land, just paid for a temporary easement, which I can cancel with 90 days' notice. They've been using it for years, every car in the development crossing my property like it's their birthright. I sit there, coffee growing cold, realizing Linda's been threatening me from behind my own fence. The next day, I run the snowblower at 800 just to keep things above board. Then I have Marcus draft the notice in 90 days, no more access road. The HOA gets served. Linda calls shrieking about extortion and community harmony. I tell her she's had 5 years to sort it out. Maybe try being neighborly next time. That evening, there's a steady parade of HOA residents at my door pleading their case. "My kid's bus route, my commute, please. Can't we work this out? I feel for them, really. But this isn't about snow, it's about respect." And nobody in that HOA, least of all Linda, has bothered to show any. Linda shows up again that night, this time with her lawyer in tow, a guy named Fletcher. All expensive coat and careful words. "You could cause real hardship here, Patrick." I tell him, maybe if Linda hadn't tried to fine me for using my own snowblower, we wouldn't be here. They offered to up the easement payment $5,000 a year. Tempting, but this isn't about money. It's about not letting someone treat you like dirt just because they've got a little power. I say no. I want it in writing my property's exempt from all their rules, and Linda steps down as president. She balks. Fletcher begs for a week to come up with something. They've got 90 days. Clock's ticking. The HOA meeting that week is pure chaos. Half the residents want Linda gone. Others think they should take me to court. My truck gets keyed, a bag of dog crap lands on my porch. But I also get a few notes from people apologizing for Linda, thanking me for standing my ground. A few weeks later, things get weird. I get called into the police barracks. Linda's filed a complaint for extortion and harassment. The trooper, Sarah Mitchell, listens to my story, looks through my paperwork, and basically says, Linda's out of line. Just keep documenting everything. Vindicated but exhausted. Turns out Linda's antics finally push things too far. The HOA votes her out. Tom Morrison, the new president, is a retired engineer, straight shooter, no drama. He sits at my kitchen table, lays it out. They'll put it in writing that I'm exempt up the payment to $10,000 and start working with the town on a real access road. I push for $15,000 with a clause that jumps it to $25,000 if there's no progress after 3 years. Tom shrugs, says he'll take it to the board. We shake on it. Life starts to settle down. But this saga, it's got more twists than a Vermont back road. A few weeks later, I find new survey markers staked along my property 20 feet inside my actual boundary. Turns out Linda hired a surveyor with an ancient, incorrect map trying to move the property line. Marcus files an injunction, we get a proper survey, and then we sue Linda for the cost, $8,000 plus legal fees. She caves, pays up, and signs a no-contact agreement. Her apology letter's about as warm as a snowbank, but at least it's over, or so I think. 6 months later, Tom calls. There's trouble with the public road. Turns out Linda's husband, Greg, is on the town planning board and is stonewalling every attempt at approval, citing environmental concerns that don't exist. It's pure pettiness. We get the attorney general involved. The next town meeting is a showdown. Board member Sarah Chin calls Greg out for conflict of interest. He's forced to recuse himself. His buddy, who's got his own axe to grind, resigns soon after. The vote finally passes. The access road gets built. Once the new road's in, Tom and the board come to me about keeping my easement as a backup. We cut the fee to $7,000. I agree. Sometimes it's smart to have more than one way out. By now, Tom's become a friend, not just a neighbor. Then out of the blue, I get a letter from Linda's lawyer, a check for $20,000, and a genuine handwritten apology. She admits she lost herself in control and spite, wasted time and money, and hopes I'll forgive her. I cash the check, but turn around and donate it to the HOA for a new community park. Linda's bad energy gets turned into something good, a playground where kids laugh and parents gossip, a plaque that says built through cooperation and second chances. Before Linda and Greg move to Florida for a fresh start, she stops by. We have coffee on the porch, watching the snow fall. She confesses her fear of retirement, of losing control, of becoming nobody. I tell her she's making amends and that counts. She thanks me for not destroying them, says I had every right. But that was never what I wanted. I just wanted to be left alone, to clear my driveway in peace. We share a laugh, and for the first time, I actually feel a little sorry to see her go. Life moves on. The HOA thrives under Tom, and then the next folks. I start seeing Alicia, a teacher from the development, and for the first time in a long while, things feel settled. On the 3-year anniversary, Tom throws a big barbecue and tells the story of the Snowblower War, how respect and cooperation won out over rules and threats. I stand there blushing, watching kids play in the park Linda's apology built, and realize this is what community is supposed to be. Later, Alicia asks if I regret anything if going nuclear was too much. I admit it was messy, that I made some enemies, but it was the only way to draw the line. Sometimes you have to stand your ground even when it gets ugly. In the end, I found real friends, earned respect, and helped everyone learn where power stops and decency begins. Now, whenever I fire up my snowblower at 7 a.m., or whenever I darn well please, I think about everything that happened. All that hassle over a patch of snow. But really, it was about something bigger. Not letting little tyrants run your life. About defending your space. And about remembering that neighbor isn't just a word in a bylaw. It's how you treat people, especially when it'd be easier to turn away. So let me throw this out there. Where's the line between standing up for yourself and just being stubborn? When does enforcing your rights turn into revenge? If you've ever tangled with an HOA or a neighbor gone rogue, you know exactly what I mean. Tell me your story. Let's hear how you drew the line, or maybe where you wish you had. Because if there's one thing this saga taught me, it's that real justice sometimes looks less like a courtroom and more like a couple of neighbors sharing coffee in the snow, finally learning to let each other be.